that's above all other names, and use it to the honor and glory of our God. So God said, rise up, take a journey. I have given into thy hand Sihon the Amorite, king of Heshbon, and his land. God is saying, the present day we are in, we've reached the stage of dispossessing kings their territories. Do you hear me? We used to go through the back door to nations for evangelism by looking for the poorest people to deal with so that we can show we are humble. But how much will you do? Like somebody said, I'm smuggling Bible to Russia. You can't win Russia through smuggle. If you want to win Russia, go through Gorbachev. You hear me? I don't care how it looks very neat. If you are a smuggler, you are a smuggler. I don't care how beautiful you coin it. Thief is thief. Whether in the name of the Lord or in the name of the devil. And I don't want to participate in stealing. Every time I get to any nation, they say, what do you have in your box? 15 Bibles, 10 New Testament, 20 cassettes, and my clothes. They say, go. You shall know the truth will set you free. I don't mean I'm condemning those who are Bible smugglers to Romania, but I don't have that gift. Do you hear what I'm saying? I'm not against them. God has dealt with every man a measure of faith. That's me. That's my life. What do you have? I have this, I have this, I have this. Go in. I just believe that some of us are acting on behalf of God cowardly. I wouldn't believe that if Jesus were here today and he wants to go to Romania, he will hide the Bible. Do you think Jesus will hide the Bible and say, that's bread? He said, dispossess the king from his throne. I have given the land to you. The king's seat, his throne, is now your own. But he said, begin to possess. Say, begin to possess. Start now. It's your own. It's your own. It's your own. Any seat the enemy occupied before we get to any nation, we can dislodge him. We can. He said, but contend with him in battle. If the enemy say, hey, don't run, stand and fight with him. What is the covenant of standing to fight the enemy? Verse 26. This day, I like what I've been bringing before you today. This day, say that everybody. Louder. One more time. Will I begin to put the dread of thee? Jesus Christ. I'm not sure that is in your Bible. The dread of thee and the fear of thee. Listen to English vocabulary. Dread and fear of you who was afraid. Me and you used to think that the more coward we are, the nearer to God we are. Thunder is made by God. Lightning is made by God. God is not a coward. And the reason I preach the way I preach is because Psalm 24 says the earth is the Lord's. The fullness thereof, kings and governors and nobles, belong to our God. I was told by one of our village pastors in Nigeria that the traditional ruler of a village said they couldn't worship certain day of the week in his village because it was native yam festival. They cannot drum, they cannot clap, they cannot sing that week. The church must be closed because of the idols in the village. So I said, go tell him that our own ministry is excluded. He said, no. Catholic, Baptist, Anglican, all the denominations that have been here for several years, every time we have this thing, they close the door until we finish for 14 days. So I said, tell him our church is either open or he will lose his throne. And they went and told him. He called all his chiefs. And the chief said, it doesn't matter. Whatever he thinks he is, that church must be closed. I said, fine. All church members, pastor, our superintendent for that area, line up all the church members to come and wait for me 3 miles to the village and drum from the place you receive me to the door of the church. They said, yes, sir. And they all came out. All the Catholics that didn't even belong to us, when they heard that I made such an announcement. Do you know what your boldness can do to a city? The Baptists, the Anglican, all of them line up, followed our own people. Plus the fact that in my country and many nations, they respect me for what God has made me. They lined up and they began to drum and sing and dance. And I said, we are going to the palace of the king before we go to the church. And they were drumming and singing. When we got to the palace of the king, he asked all his chiefs to welcome me, to lay hand on his head for prayers. So I prayed for him and commanded that demon that frightened them from not clapping to die. That was 1977. 11 years ago is the last time they bound the church from not opening door for 14 days because I went there to the king's palace. Guess what? When I finished praying for him, I said, take all your chiefs, come to the church. And they followed. And I told them I came to remove the curse